Hi folks and welcome to Rio de Janeiro, and yes, that is the Copacabana beach behind me, and as you can tell there is quite a crowd. Let me show you what's going on there. That is just a very small portion of the approximately 2 million people that are expected to be on this beach tonight and tomorrow to be part of the final celebration here in Rio for World Youth Day 2013. I'm here as well. Believe it or not, I'm filming this from my hotel room. We booked this a long time ago when the hotel rooms were still pretty cheap. And that was before we knew that the closing event was going to be moved from the original site to the beach. So now we're in a prime location. I bet you that the owners of this hotel are cursing under their breath. If they had known this, they could have charged 10 times as much for these hotel rooms. But it's a great place for us to use as a home base. I'm actually here. I didn't organize this, but the television company, the Catholic television that I work for in the Netherlands, made these arrangements. I've been working here for a Dutch website that is focused on bringing updates from World Youth Day here. So it's a national website for young Catholics. So that's what I've been doing all the time. I've been creating YouTube videos and taking pictures and doing tons of interviews, of course, with the media in the Netherlands, and they are all very curious about what's happening here, especially because, well, things are so different from what was originally planned. Just to give you a few examples, when the Pope arrived, he took a regular car. He didn't step into a Pope-mobile, but he just stepped into a Fiat car, and his driver took a wrong turn and ended up in a bus lane, so he got into a traffic jam. I think this is the first official occasion for a Pope to be part of a traffic jam, so he knows how we feel when we're commuting and we're getting in a traffic jam. This Pope has done it all. And then he's been adding a lot of extra events to World Youth Day, to the program. He's been visiting a favela, so one of the slums here, where he again made personal contact with so many people. He's been to a hospital, embraced former drug addicts. He's been to a lot of situations here in Rio where the poorest of the poor live, to show that he did not just come for a big party of young people, but he wants to be close to anyone in need, anyone who needs the church. And he definitely launches a call of action to all the young people here to do the same, to follow his example, and to extend our embrace, as he keeps calling it, to the entire world. He takes the big famous statue of Christ Redeemer here in Rio as an icon, or even a symbol of what our action should be, what we are supposed to do in this world, and that is to embrace everyone, all generations. That's another thing that struck me. On many occasions, he has said that we shouldn't treat the youth as if it were an isolated group. Young people are just one generation among others, and we need to restore the connections between these different generations. And he particularly talked about the elderly and how important they are for the youth and for the church, and that he hopes that young people will actually make those connections, and that will strengthen the church, as well as, of course, the various social groups, people that are poor, people that are, for whatever reason, marginalized. They too belong both to the fabric of society and to the fabric of the church. And by inviting all of these, by making these people part of his itinerary here in Rio, he actually puts that into practice. And so it's been a wonderful time here. And it's going to be even more special because down below, I don't know if you can see it, kind of difficult lighting situations here, but the pilgrims are already setting up camp on the beach, which is actually not allowed. They're not supposed to stay on the beach during the night. It's too dangerous. Um, this was the decision to move it to the beach was taken yesterday, so that's one day before the big event. They've been scrambling to create at least like a bare minimum of facilities. Most importantly, water. You need water here, but you can't just drink from any. You can't just drink tap water; it will make you sick. So, the Dutch company that was providing the water on the other side has been hired to, or has been asked. I'm not sure if they're hired, but uh, to set up water points here near close to the beach. They're also, of course, trying to provide toilets. You've got 2 million people. They all have to pee at one time. You don't want them to do that on the beach. So just imagine the crazy organizational problems that both the church and the people here face to pull this off. But I've got a feeling that despite all the practical problems, it will be a big party, and everybody's so optimistic. And the atmosphere yesterday during the Way of the Cross was amazing. And again, there you not only young people there, but also older people, families, lots of kids. I think it feels like this is the first World Youth Day where it's going beyond youth. This is World Catholic Day almost, and so and that's cool. I mean, I think it enhances the atmosphere. So who knows what will happen? Fortunately, finally we got some good weather. We've had rain for many days. That's one of the reasons that the former location for the final mass was had to be canceled, because it had just turned into a pit of mud, knee high. You know, so you couldn't even stand there, let alone sleep. So it was a huge security risk. It's kind of a pity that they only made the decision so late, because they, of course, could have known that this wasn't going to work. It's a former swamp, for goodness sake. You can't just turn a swamp into a dry place. I mean, we Dutch took like centuries to make that happen. You can't do that in a few months. Anyway, or they should have hired Dutch. So, but I think it's gonna be amazing. Pope Francis has been extremely personable. He always makes you feel as if he's talking to you personally, even if he's addressing like a crowd of millions. And his personal style during all these visits has been just extremely warm and very inspiring for a priest like me, for anyone. I mean, he doesn't have to talk much. It's just by the way he lives, by his attitude, that you get to see how how I should behave, what I'm supposed to do. And so it's I think that's the biggest revolution that he's bringing. He is changing our mentality, our hearts, our attitude, and that, of course, that's where it all begins. You can make lots of plans, but if the heart doesn't change, it's no good. It doesn't really account to anything. So I'm having high hopes for these final days. Pray that everything goes well, that we don't get any disasters or protests. Or there have been pretty severe uprisings in other parts of the country right now. There's a lot of social unrest because of the corruption in this country. The Pope has said many times that he wants people to fight against injustice and to stay awake and not to get discouraged by the corruption that they see. So I'm confident that even the protesters they know that the Pope is behind them. Perhaps not in violent protests, but at least he is definitely behind their cause to make this country a more just country, just like we should do everywhere in the world. So in that respect, I think we're safe here. But you never know with these big crowds. It's always a bit kind of like let's wait and see what happens. Hey, I'm gonna end this brief video stream by showing you the beach and the different places. I will step out of the image so you can get a clearer view. And I hope you will stay tuned to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/rvanhogen, which is RVONHOGEN. And of course, also cross-posting on Twitter, Facebook, and on sqpn.com. So keep an eye on that for my videos and reports here from World Youth Day. Thanks for watching, and well, here is the Copacabana. And now that I'm out of the picture, it gets a lot clearer. Let me try to get the horizon straight. So this is like halfway. The beach itself is 4 kilometers long. I don't know how many miles that is. Skies are a bit cloudy, but there is some sunshine. I'm now going to move towards the left part of the beach, and they're over there in the distance. This is still a few miles from where I am currently. You see the mountains, of course, and then right in front of that you see that one, well, it's not even a skyscraper, it's probably a hotel. Underneath that there's this big white stage, which was built here for the opening ceremony for the Way of the Cross. They're using it now for the final celebrations and for Mass as well. It's actually pretty small. It's way smaller than the one that they built on the other side, but well, they'll have to make do. You can see, probably not in the image because it's too far away, but the entire place, the first, let's say, 2 miles are already completely crowded with people, whereas here in front of my hotel it's actually a bit better. So there are definitely pilgrims that are setting up camp. And then if I move this way, it's kind of tricky. Just move it to the other part of the window. This is the other side of the beach. Actually much easier to film because of the sunshine that is coming from behind us. So I think this beach is entirely going to fill up. It's going to go all the way to the end of the curve there. That will be 3 million people, I think. New Year's Eve, they also have a big event here on the beach, and then you have 2 million people. So they are kind of used to these big numbers. That's kind of comforting. In the distance, all the way in the distance, you can see the end of the curve. There is this white building. That's actually the press center. And that is also, it's a fort originally. That is where where the helicopter of the Pope lands. And then from there, he takes a car usually, or an open Jeep, and follows alongside the beach to go to the other side, to go to the main stage. So the problem is, once he lands, the whole place gets locked off and journalists can't leave. That is also the place where tomorrow on Sunday I will be providing the live commentary on TV, on Dutch TV. And originally we were extremely sad because we were supposed to sit there where we would be, because they don't have connections on the mud pit. So we were supposed to give the live commentary from the press center. We wouldn't see anything. Right now it's totally different. Actually, from our seat where we are sitting, where we have the connection, the audio connection, we can actually see the entire beach. So it will be much more like sports commentary, where you can actually see what is happening, and you've got the feeling that you are actually there. So that is a huge relief. Of course, it is. Again, logistically, it's a nightmare for the people, but I am super happy. I'm super excited that this is going to take place basically beneath my window. Who could have thought that? So there you go. That's my update for today here from. Why am I wearing these white headphones? I don't even use them. So I am now going to. Wow, that's kind of difficult to manage the camera while holding it. I'll be heading down, and I'm going to go on to the beach to record a special episode of The Break. I think it's the first one that I've recorded on a beach in Latin America. Well, that's that's kind of easy. Again, that will be posted later this weekend. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the updates, and make sure that you read. The white balance is doing strange things with my head here, turning into a blue alien. Make sure that you read the speeches of the Pope, and there are plenty of live streams that you can also visit to witness what we are witnessing here. But Pope Francis, definitely read his stuff. It's changing the church. It's changing the world. It's it might change your life. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I think this is a first as well. First hangout from Rio, from Brazil. Isn't it amazing what you can do nowadays with technology? It's something to be very, very grateful for. And for those of you that are watching this afterwards, well, again, you're all in my prayers this weekend. Take care and God bless. Bye now.